How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Hack Slash Double Date. This was originally issue 6 of the Hack Slash comic, and is the 4th thing collected in Omnibus 2, and this is another single issue story. However, I do like that they're taking advantage of, hey, we have a long-running book, not everything has to be a big special one-shot. What if we just went off and did something wacky and crazy for an issue? And this issue is a parody of Archie. Now, I will say, nothing against you if you do like Archie, I just never really got into it, so I feel like a lot of the parody was a little bit wasted on me, but it is a good idea for just a single issue one-off, let's go have a wacky adventure. But basically, you get Father Wrath returning, and he's going to a land that's a parody of Archie, and we get him having some trouble because there are no sinners for him to punish because everybody's being too nice there. And that's a funny gag. And you kind of need something with Father Wrath because at the end of the day, other than his cool weapon, he's kind of a generic slasher with, a motivation we had seen before. When he first showed up in Girls Gone Dead, you had him contrasted with the frat humor, and also the controlling a slasher element was very unique. To bring him back, you really needed something unique as well, and the idea of him going to a world without sinners to punish, that is funny, and I do wish they played it up a little bit more, because a lot of this does get kind of lost in the Archie stuff, where they do spend a little bit too long talking about Tabor, the Archie equivalent, and him just having this problem with having 2 dates to the school dance. And I do wish that this was a little meaner, I wish the kill count was way higher, and I do wish we had more sharp gags. But that being said, especially with a few lines in this book, I think Tim Seeley is secretly a fan of Archie, and he kind of wanted to pay tribute to it, so maybe that kept it from being as violent as it could, because towards the end of the story, it does get way better. So overall, this is a fun little aside, not my favorite thing ever, and I do wish that it went harder and more violent. And it is also kind of funny, the idea of, hey, what if we did Archie but darker? Well, that would be a much more popular idea in the future. You would eventually get the comics doing things like Afterlife with Archie and Archie versus Predator, and then we would quite famously get the more mature-themed Riverdale TV show. So, Hack Slash, maybe you were a little bit ahead of your time once again. Anyway, without further ado, if you guys want to see me take a closer look at the story and talk a bit about the art, no major spoilers, but let's switch to the close-up camera for a deeper dive. Alright, here we are inside the castle, taking a closer look at Hack Slash Double Date. Once again, we're going to be looking in Omnibus Volume 2 for this story. And bringing it closer to the camera, we can see that, once again, Tim Seeley is the writer. But the credits for Double Date are kind of interesting. We see that the artist is Fernando Pinto. He'll be doing the main Archie stuff in this book, I believe, but the outside of the Archie world actually has 3 other artists credited. Stefano Caselli, he did the first Hack Slash story, Euthanized. Tim Seeley is the series creator, and we also have Splash there. So I get having multiple artists to, make it different between the Archie world and not. It is kind of weird that they had to use 3 others to do the main world, though. Anyway, after that, we get to the cover, Hack Slash Double Date, and this is a fun Archie-styled cover actually drawn by Tim Seeley, and we actually get an after credit, Tim Seeley after Dan DeCarlo, so I guess that's the original Archie guy. I also like, there's a fun joke, we get Cassie on the cover, and, just these sort of redesigned classic stuff, but we also get Cassie and Vlad hosing all the blood off her. Anyway, after this, let's get into the story proper. I'm not going to be doing any major spoilers, but I do want to say my piece on a few plot points, do a bit of breakdown and analysis, show you guys some of the art. I'll be avoiding the end bits and I'll try not to go too far, but let's go ahead and dig in. We open up and we get to see this girl, and her boyfriend's been killed in a very particular way, and we see a shadow coming up, but we all know that's just Cassie and Vlad. Cassie and Vlad, of course, know that that's Father Wrath's MO, and they see that he's been going in pretty much a straight line down the road, so all they have to do is go to Haverhill and wait for him, and the two go off into the sunset, but they leave the giant golden cross there. Yeah, that is kind of weird. The last issue established that they make a lot of their money just selling stuff they get from slashers, and I think a big gold cross might be worth something. I don't know. Maybe it's not solid gold, but come on, Cassie, pick that thing up. Anyway, after that, we get into Haverhill, which is like the Archie parody town, and we get the comic Our Boy Tabor in Double Date. And we get to see the guy in the blue, that's Tabor, our Archie stand-in, and he's run into the classic sort of conundrum of accidentally asking two girls out to the same dance. So it's going to be a costume dance, kind of adds to the, horror fun from Hack Slash. But after a bit, we see, he's with one girl, the other comes by, and he pushes her into the roses, and that's when Father Wrath will see them. But all she wants is a little kiss on the cheek, and she's going to leave, leaving Father Wrath confused. And overall, this is a fun gag, the idea that there's something innocent in this world, so what's Father Wrath to do? But there's not too many, gags just like this, and I kind of would like to see a whole bunch of Father Wrath just being upset, but we don't really get too much of that. That's why I say I wish this kind of went higher into the humor, but it is a whole lot of the dating and the shenanigans. Eventually, we'll get this strange character coming into town. He'll see that Tabor's upset and offer him a unique scheme to get out of his problems. Cassie and Vlad will show up, and I guess it probably doesn't look like a cartoon to them, but Cassie does note that this place looks brighter and more old school, so yeah, she does notice the different atmosphere, and she's going to go into the diner to investigate. They start talking about the costume dance, and she knows that's where she needs to go, but doesn't want to go with the annoying rich guy, so she'll, of course, get Lunk out on a date, which I'd imagine is more like, what she's used to, a big guy that doesn't talk too much. Kind of weird they don't draw more comparisons between him and Vlad. Speaking of Vlad, though, we do get some interesting stuff with him. He's watching the church looking for clues, and there's a supposedly innocent fundraiser going on in the back where a bunch of girls are doing a car wash, and that's where we get a bit of character analysis for Vlad there. If you remember Shout at the Devil, he actually had sex in that issue, and now he understands sex a little more and is starting to look at the world a little bit differently. And yeah, I like keeping the continuity between issues and seeing him change. It is kind of funny too later, they're at the inn and Cassie comes out. She's like, hey, I want to provoke Father Wrath, so I'm going to be dressed as a beautiful nun, and Vlad has to look away from her like, I don't know if I can take this anymore. So it is fun to see that sort of shift in their dynamic, and what's Vlad going to do, being more interested in romance but still having that distance from the rest of people there. So we'll have to see how that all plays out. I won't go too much farther than that. Needless to say, we will eventually get to the dance, and wacky hijinks ensue as the dance becomes less and less PG, and more stuff starts to happen. Like I said, it's a fun little aside. I'm not a huge Archie fan, so I really didn't get a ton out of the parody, and I do wish it was more violent and funnier, but it does kind of get just caught up in the joy of being an Archie-styled thing. Overall, it's a fun little aside. Not my favorite thing ever, but hey, if we're gonna have a long-running series, why not do wacky episodic adventures? Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Hack Slash playlist, where you should be able to find my reviews for a ton of the past entries in this series. Anyway, have a good day. See you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.